out to you, and thanks so much for joining me. I'm CBS 8's Jenny Day. Happy holidays. I sincerely hope that you and yours are doing well. Now let's get you caught up on what's happening around San Diego. We'll also look ahead at what's to come. We do start, though, with the News 8 exclusive. A 12-year-old boy made a post on Snapchat, and now he's facing a felony charge because of it. The boy's parents say that it was a huge misunderstanding. We'll show you what he wrote, why punctuation matters, and explain why his parents question the timing of the criminal charges, which were just filed more than a year after the incident. And we also do want to warn you that this story contains explicit language.
I was screaming and asking why were they there? Why are they arresting my son?
She's concealing her identity to protect her son from more scrutiny and trauma, but this mom wants their story told.
My son was arrested at 12 years old, put into handcuffs by 2 officers and pulled out of my home. He will live with that for the rest of his life. He's 4'8", 80 pounds.
She says San Diego police walked into her apartment in Carmel Valley without a search warrant or an explanation as they looked for weapons.
One officer was searching his room, lifting up his bed, grabbing things out of his closet, looking through everything.
She says they found nothing, and she felt helpless and scared.
Eventually, at some point, the one officer had said that he had made a death threat to his principal.
She says they whisked away her 12-year-old son to juvenile hall, but that very same night, police released him back into her care.
Juvenile hall did not book him based off of lack of evidence of an actual death threat.
She says it was November 2021. Her son was a 7th grader at Carmel Valley Middle School, and earlier that day, he was told to go to the office to see the principal. So he went and waited for her.
He sat there for, over 2.5 hours, and she never came to the office.
And the school bell rang for dismissal?
School bell rang for dismissal, and I'd say he was there for probably 20 minutes after that before he actually got up and left.
She says he was off campus after school when he posted to Snapchat these words without any punctuation, which is how I'll read it. Just dipped out of school, ran out that bitch in the office, dead Tom. Tom, short for tomorrow. The principal read his words as a threat on her life. The police report says he threatened crime with intent to terrorize at a school. The victim was a teacher.
He was shocked. He couldn't believe that they interpreted it that way.
So she asked him what he did mean. He
said, "Mom, I would never threaten a principal. I would never say that I'm going to kill anybody. I knew I was in trouble for leaving the school, for leaving the office. I was saying that I'm going to be dead tomorrow."
Diana, a judge, is one of the family's attorneys.
Just ran out that bitch. Ran out that bitch, the bitch being the administration building. He by no means is referring to an individual person as, he's not referring to someone as a bitch.
A judge says the boy was suspended from Carmel Valley Middle School, and then the principal called for his expulsion. Weeks later, the San Diego Union High School District Board sided with the family, allowing the 12-year-old to return to school. By that time, it was too late.
We had already found a different school for him. There was no way that I would put him back under that principal's care or supervision.
She says at the school board hearing, they also learned the school did not follow the San Diego County threat protocol established by the County Office of Education.
It was the principal's interpretation of the post, then the police arrest. There was no, let's call the parents, let's get the kid in, let's talk about what this actually meant.
The family recently filed a civil lawsuit against the principal, the district, the city, and the police department, claiming civil rights and free speech violations, unreasonable search and seizure, and false imprisonment, among other things. They say 2 weeks after they filed their civil suit, and more than a year after the arrest, the San Diego County District Attorney's Office filed a felony charge against the boy.
We definitely think it's retaliation.
Do you believe he was wrongfully arrested?
Yes. What happened was unjust. It was unconstitutional.
We don't want it happening to other people. We want our son to also know that we're fighting for his justice.
Yeah, and that was our Marcella Lee reporting. The San Diego District Attorney's Office told us that juvenile cases are sealed so that youth can grow without a criminal record with the goal of rehabilitation. But in general, quote, we take school threats and threats to school staff very seriously, and we follow the established San Diego County School Threat Assessment Protocol. Generally speaking, there can be a lag time from when a school threat incident happened to when it is submitted to our office for review. The San Diego Union High School District also told us they can't comment on the case either, but said, quote, Carmel Valley Middle School provides a student agenda with behavioral expectations to all students, adding every student, teacher, and staff member has a right to feel safe when they come to school or their place of work. You can read both statements in full on our digital copy of this story. Well, meantime, the fate over the pandemic-era immigration policy known as Title 42 is still up in the air. The Supreme Court put a temporary hold on the policy, which was going to expire on Wednesday. The policy allows U.S. officials to immediately expel migrants, citing pandemic public health concerns. Despite the temporary hold, the border city of El Paso, Texas, declared a state of emergency as they brace for a surge in migrant arrivals.
One of the things that's we're going to do is we're going to continue to proceed as if it was being lifted. We want to make sure that we're prepared.
Yeah, and part of the Biden administration's plan to handle the influx includes busing people to cities like Denver and New York. As of right now, Title 42 will stay in effect until the Supreme Court says otherwise. The White House is set to respond. Well, if you're thinking about going solar, you might want to hurry. State regulators are cutting rates for the excess energy that your panels produce. The California Public Utilities Commission just voted unanimously to overhaul its rules for rooftop solar power. They say customers who don't have solar are paying more than their fair share to maintain and expand the power grid, while those with existing solar panels are safe from the net metering cuts. As CBS 8's Steve Fiorina found out, there's not much time to lock in those current rates.
A bombshell being dropped on homeowners who have considered going solar but not pulled the trigger. Incentives are virtually disappearing while prices looming higher. The California Public Utilities Commission finally gave approval to a plan that's been controversial from the start. It does not affect the 1.5 million who already have rooftop solar, but there will be changes in electric rates and payments back to solar homeowners for sharing excess power. The PUC says it will be more fair to those without solar and also encourage people to add battery storage systems. Solar providers say it will create massive problems.
We've been fighting it for a long time. In a nutshell, it's going to cut down the amount of credit that a consumer will get for exporting their solar back into the grid by at least 80% here in San Diego.
He says the solar business will fall off dramatically.
We're predicting a drop in demand once all this goes through by 60 to 75%.
Suzanne Watson signed contracts today.
I wanted to go solar for a very long time and really hadn't got around to it.
She's been following the news coverage and decided to make the plunge now.
It looked like there could potentially be some strong disincentives to go solar once this ruling takes effect.
She's going solar on 3 homes and very happy about it.
It's the right thing financially, and like I said, it's also the right thing for the environment. We're in Southern California. What better place to have solar?
So there will be a transition period. It won't take effect until mid-April. In the interim, we can expect huge demand to beat the clock.
There's going to be delays, there's going to be a big rush, there's going to be supply issues, and there's going to be unscrupulous people out there trying to take advantage of people.
Best advice, get consultation with a company with a good track record and move quickly. Steve Fiorina, CBS 8.
Steve, thanks. Well, the threat of cyber attacks only continues to grow nationwide, as well as right here in San Diego. The city just actually launched a new regional cyber lab, and CBS 8 got to take a tour. Locally, we have had some high-profile cyber attacks, including at San Diego Unified and Scripps Hospital. A lot of large companies typically have large IT departments to help ward off those threats, but it's smaller companies, nonprofits, and schools that really need help. So this new cyber lab is aimed at helping them.
This is really important because as a region, we've got access to more resources, and sharing those resources can help us all improve our cyber security readiness.
Yeah, the price tag on the Cyber Lab was more than $900,000. It was funded by grants from the Department of Homeland Security. The best part, all that training is free. Well, the Biden administration is once again giving away free rapid tests to households. This comes as the White House is trying to ramp up COVID prevention measures amid an uptick in cases this winter. You can once again place orders for 4 free kits. Just visit covidtests.gov to order them. The new round of tests certainly open to anyone, and the tests will then start shipping out this week. Well, State Senator Scott Wiener introduced a bill this week to decriminalize the use of psychedelics for Californians over the age of 21. He says the hallucinogens can help people with depression, PTSD, or other mental health issues. Our political reporter Morgan Reiner joins us now with the changes the senator has made to try and get the bill passed this time around.
The old bill included synthetic psychedelics made in a lab. The new one narrows it down to natural psychedelics, think magic mushrooms. But a Republican lawmaker told me even that version of the bill is still way too broad.
Michael Young is a patriot.
I love my country, so I heeded the call to service and joined the U.S. Army.
10 years later, he returned home.
My nights were sleepless with anxiety. My days were paralyzed by depression.
He credits one thing in his recovery.
Thank goodness I found psychedelics. Psychedelics help heal the unseen scars from my years of service in the war on terror. This sacred plant medicine showed me how to put myself back together again.
State Senator Scott Wiener wants this to be widely available.
We are not the first here. It's great when California can take the lead, as we should, on progressive, forward-looking public policy. But the voters in both Colorado and Oregon have already stepped in to decriminalize these substances.
Wiener said decriminalizing is good for more than just health benefits.
Criminalizing drug use and possession accomplishes absolutely nothing other than to fill up our prisons.
New Republican Assemblymember Bill Asaley is a former federal prosecutor.
I've prosecuted drug trafficking. I've seen the effects of drug use on society and how that is often when people become addicted.
And does not believe recreational drug use overall is a good thing for society.
Specifically with his proposal to decriminalize the psychedelics, I think there is potentially some medical use for psychedelics, but it's got to be limited to medical settings under appropriate medical supervision.
Said if Wiener truly believes psychedelics help with mental health care, to start there.
I think this bill, again, just goes too far and too broad.
Last session, Wiener's bill did make it through the Senate and then made it through several committees in the Assembly, where it eventually died. Law enforcement groups were against it at the time.
Morgan Reiner there reporting. We'll certainly keep you posted. Well, the San Diego Blood Bank has hit a dangerously low blood supply and is urging the community to donate. Donations do tend to slow down during the holidays, but this year's supply chain issues have created another obstacle. The supplies needed to take double red blood donations have run out. This means the blood bank needs double the single unit donations to make up for it. They are needing about 1,000 donors to step up in the next 2 weeks.
There's always a concern when supplies are low, but we hope that people will hear this message and realize just one blood donation could save up to 3 lives. So it makes a difference. It's the season of giving, and really now is the time to donate.
Yes, so important. I do it frequently. Anyone who is 17 years old and older, healthy, and at least 114 pounds can donate. You can visit cbs8.com to learn more. Well, if you are flying out of San Diego Airport, get ready for some of the busiest travel days of the year. You know what time it is. So, TripAdvisor predicts San Diego will be a top 10 destination in the nation for holiday travel. The worst of the rush isn't even here yet. The TSA says that is expected to start on Thursday. Keep parking in mind as well. You can only park at Terminal 2 right now, and you do need to reserve a spot. Well, now to an Earth Aid. A local environmental group is digging in to protect our natural resources. Wild Coast just moved into its new headquarters, bringing its mission of conservation closer to the delicate ecosystems that it defends. CBS 8's Sean Stiles reports.
Wild Coast has been involved in coastal conservation for over 22 years and just recently have moved their offices to here in Del Mar, where they're taking care of business in their own backyard.
Our location in Del Mar is incredible. It's right across the street from some of our conservation sites where we're doing restoration and carbon sampling.
As the conservation director for Wild Coast, Angela Kemsley says it's all about protection.
So we do ecosystem-based conservation. So think sea turtle nesting beaches, mangrove forests, gray whale breeding lagoons, coral reefs, marine protected areas, and California wetlands.
Some of those wetlands are just steps away.
We're really centrally located to a lot of the conservation work that we do throughout the county. We have sites, I mean, if not literally in our own backyard, in our neighborhood. We can see some of our conservation sites from right outside our front door.
Carlos Callado is the Blue Conservation Coordinator at Wild Coast and is leading the charge on the ground.
You can see many of these plants, the smaller ones are more recently installed, but some of these larger ones have been here for a little over a year. And as we get closer to maybe that 2-year mark, that's usually when these plants get established.
And these areas play a key role in carbon sequestration.
So blue carbon is carbon stored in coastal and marine sediments. When we pull carbon out of the atmosphere with plants, it gets stored in our soil here in blue carbon ecosystems.
Wild Coast's reach is far and wide.
Wild Coast is an international team that conserves coastal and marine ecosystems and addresses climate change through natural solutions.
And just like any conservation group, Wild Coast is always looking for volunteers. So if you'd like to get involved, there'll be a link on this story. Sean Stiles, CBS 8.
Good stuff as always, Sean. Thanks. And staying on topic, the Birch Aquarium in La Jolla is preparing to launch a brand new monthly event to show off what happens with their plants and animals at night. They're calling it Oceans at Night, and our CBS 8's Evan Narani has a preview of what you can expect.
On any given night around 5 p.m., the Birch Aquarium closes their doors to the public. But for one night a month starting in January, they're going to be opening up for a special Oceans at Night event, and we're taking you inside to get a sneak peek.
We're really excited to get to share the aquarium when people aren't normally here. So people kind of have this idea that the fish go to sleep at night, and so we thought how cool to be able to share what happens in the evening, you know, when it gets dark. That really was our inspiration.
If you walk into the Birch Aquarium after dark, you'll notice its transformation. Lights that show off bioluminescence from marine plants and animals, music, small bites, and even glow-in-the-dark cocktails are available, all to show off the amazing change that happens as we go to bed and our oceans come alive.
Bioluminescence is when an organism actually has a chemical reaction in their body and emits light. And then we also are going to be talking about biofluorescence, where an animal takes in light and kind of changes the color of it, and the color that comes back out is slightly different.
The event focuses on showing the aquarium's inhabitants in a new light. Literally, from jellyfish to sea corals and the scientists who study them.
Some of these guys are starting to settle down a little bit for the evening, and then some animals might be becoming a little bit more active or demonstrating different behaviors.
Oceans at Night will be held once a month on select Thursdays and will only be open to people 21 and older. Tickets for the general public are $30. There's also an upgraded experience that costs $75, and both tickets give discounts to current aquarium members.
So this is actually a place where some of the scientists down at Scripps, before they go out into the middle of the ocean and are doing research, they can come here and practice some of their techniques.
Oh, cool.
In a place where it didn't cost a whole plane ticket, and you want to make sure your data are collected well before you have to go do it.
Put people in the water here?
Yep. Cool. Yeah. Any of the habitats that we can't really just kind of get in with our arm, we will have divers go in.
Scripps' first public aquarium exhibit opened in La Jolla in 1905. It's been growing ever since. It wasn't until 1992, with a donation from the Stephen and Mary Birch Foundation, that the aquarium got the new name.
Planning for this event, it involved some of us kind of wandering around in the dark with some flashlights, and that was really a lot of moments of discovery for us. And we were kind of acting, you know, that part of getting to be excited and discover new things. So we're hoping to get to share that with people, and hopefully they'll have that same sense of excitement that we did.
Tickets for Oceans at Night will go on sale each month on their website, aquarium.ucsd.edu. In La Jolla, Evan Narani, CBS 8.
That is amazing. I need to see it with my own eyes. Evan, truly thanks. Well, after serving our nation for decades, a retired Navy commander opened a School of Rock. As we take you in the Zevely Zone, Jeff takes a musical journey to Otay Ranch.
Two things I've learned in the Zevely Zone. Anyone can do anything, and you should never stop believing. South Bay music students have found a safe harbor to follow their dreams. The School of Rock Otay Ranch is owned by Mark Sheffield, who knows all about the exploration of dreams.
This picture is from Doyle. It's my first ship.
Mark served in the Navy for 22 years, and he learned
everything about myself, everything about our country. I learned a lot about the world.
As much as Mark loved the military, he loved his family even more. So after 7 years overseas, you dropped anchor in Chula Vista.
Absolutely. I dropped it in Chula Vista,
where for the past 2 years, students like Joshua Muse have been jamming out.
It's really fun. They teach you a lot of different genres of music and a lot of different types.
Another student is Brixton Harper. Tell me about this place.
It's awesome.
Students like Evan Light find freedom of expression here, not knowing until now Commander Mark Sheffield spent decades protecting our liberty.
I think that's great, and I think that's even more impressive that he did that and then built this whole building basically up from nothing. Started like a whole community here basically.
Do you play? Mark says he can't even play an instrument.
No, I'm a dad.
But if there's one thing he learned in the military,
personnel development.
Which is kind of what you're doing here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love seeing people become what they want to become.
During our jam session, more musicians kept showing up to sprinkle in their own special talents. Mark traveled the world so that someday he could return to the United States to take a musical voyage like this. At some point, a person has to pick between a rock star ending or keeping an even keel. You created all of that.
Yeah, you win. We win.
And I didn't break your guitar.
Thank God.
In the Zevely Zone, Jeff Zevely, CBS 8.
And Mark Sheffield was deployed 5 times and spent a year in Iraq. If you would like more information about the School of Rock and Otay Ranch, visit the Zevely Zone page on CBS8.com. Well, after a competitive golfer lost her sight, she Googled the words blind golf and was surprised to learn that's actually a sport. So here again is Jeff after visiting the Rancho Santa Fe Golf Club, where he met a 74-year-old world champion.
Linda Port is about to hit a golf ball. She can't see. Golfing is one of the most challenging sports in the world, especially when you're legally blind.
Yes, it is harder. When you can't see the ball, it's definitely harder.
In 1986, Linda started losing her central vision.
I can see everything pretty well with fuzzy vision like you do, which is called peripheral vision out here. But if I'm looking at your face, I can't see your face.
Left side of those trees.
Linda's husband, Fred,
got it.
That's good face.
Got it.
Is her golf guide.
When she turns it on and it's time to compete, she's there.
Yep, perfect.
And she's there with every single bit of energy, brain power, you name it, she brings it.
Out on the course, when your husband serves as your sight?
When we started, we had some husband-wife issues.
Linda told Fred all she needed to know was how far to hit the ball and in which direction.
You never tell her that was a bad shot.
Nope. Because what good would it do?
How about you be my coach?
Okay.
With Linda as my golf guide, I wanted to see for myself if I could follow her directions.
Back up a little bit here.
With my eyes closed.
That felt like it went 200 yards down the middle. What happened?
It's still there.
Which makes the next part of this story even more miraculous. Linda and her fellow North American blind golfers just beat the world at the TPC Sawgrass Vision Cup.
North America won for the first time ever.
The 17th hole at TPC Sawgrass is legendary, and so was Linda when she parred it.
My biggest message would be, let's get some kids out there learning golf.
More and more vision-impaired children are doing just that.
Good shot. When they hit that ball, you would have thought they just won $1 million.
Linda says anyone can take a swing at a strong mindset.
The brain is an amazing thing.
And so are you.
In the Zevely Zone.
Who gets the credit for a good shot?
Right here. There's no confusion there.
Oh.
Jeff Zevely, CBS 8.
Yeah, so inspiring. So if you are visually impaired, Linda hopes that you'll check out the United States Blind Golf Association. For more information, once again, visit the Zevely Zone on CBS8.com. And because we are in the holiday spirit, we do have one more Zevely Zone for you. Imagine spending nearly $200,000 decorating your house for Christmas. Well, Jeff now heads to La Jolla to share a homeowner's special holiday message.
This is La Jolla Boulevard, but until December 30th, you can call it Aspenville.
We basically have Whoville reincarnated.
Ace Rogers is a La Jolla homeowner.
I'm trying to get my head around this story.
Who goes big and bright every Christmas.
This time of year, it's just the time to go all out.
But the price tag of this year's gift to the community would make even Santa blush.
Can we ask how much you're dropping for this one?
This one's $175,000.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
It takes a lot of work to build these structures.
The display is called Aspenville, and it's a tribute to Ace's three-legged dog.
This is Aspen. He's the richest dog in La Jolla, and that's why I brand him as that. Brand him as that to bring awareness to handicapped dogs. I want other people to adopt handicapped dogs.
Ace also wants to shine a bunch of Christmas lights on La Jolla's famous author.
Dr. Seuss is from here. So this is a great way to show tribute to La Jolla and Dr. Seuss, who, rest his soul, isn't here anymore.
Dr. Seuss lived a generous life, and Ace wants to continue his charitable ways.
Along with all of this, you're going to host a bike drive?
Absolutely. We're going to have a bike drive. We're going to have the driveway filled with bikes.
The businessman owns a digital marketing company.
More candy!
And says this is his way
Very nice, Ace.
of sharing his success and holiday spirit.
All of it's free, including the thousands and thousands of candy canes for the kids. And people keep showing up.
It's amazing. Thank you for doing this for all of us. It's great.
I don't know how he does it, but he continues to do it year after year.
And on other holidays, too. Ace recently made headlines in Fortune magazine.
How much did you drop on Halloween decorations?
That one was $50,000.
And just to make sure sugar plums weren't blocking my hearing.
Did you say $175,000?
$175,000, yeah. I'm just happy to do it. It's really not about cost. It's about what I can do for the community and bringing awareness to handicapped dogs. There's no price you can put on that.
Most of the time we do stories like these, homeowners do not give out their home address.
6052 La Jolla Boulevard, 92037. Everyone is welcome. Bring your kids, bring your dogs. We'd love to have you.
Merry Christmas!
In the Zevely Zone,
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Jeff Zevely, CBS 8.
Oh, so sweet, so generous. Jeff, thanks again. Aspenville will be open to the public until December 30th. For more info, again, head to cbs8.com. Well, now to a News 8 throwback. Remember this? Chia. It was a 1990s holiday tradition for Larry Himmel and photojournalist Bruce Patch to make the trek to Tecate to visit the Chia Pet Factory. The pet population was exploding in 1993, and then again in 1996, Larry got a sneak peek at the new Chia gorilla, making its debut in 1997.
Christmas is a time for cheer, a time for children, a time for Chia Pet. And most of the world's Chia Pets are manufactured just south of the border in Tecate, Mexico.
Everything is handmade. We start by forming it with a mold, and everything else after that is handmade.
The Chia Pet population is exploding.
Well, actually, this year we did, I don't have the final numbers yet, but we did over 1.5 million.
You know, and as we always say, if you're going to give a Chia Pet for Christmas, please have it spayed or neutered.
That's right.
The idea for growing seeds on ceramics germinated in Guatemala over 90 years ago.
That's the ramp, and this one is the bull, and those were the originals. Back in 1983, 84, we started with those two.
Is that a boy or a girl?
That's a boy.
How can you tell?
You have to look very hard at it. Well, I think it's a novelty, and it's a gift, and it's a perfect for the children, for the teenagers, the older, the executive, the secretary, the housewife, everybody. You know, it's a good gift for everybody.
Are those anti-fur activists, are they bothering you for the Chia fur?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Rolling, rolling, rolling. Keep those Chias rolling. The factory is already up and running for the next holiday season and plans to increase production by 40%.
That's one of the new designs for next year.
So it'll be the Chia frog.
That's right.
Heard it first here. You know, it'd be great if we could get the Chia frog together with the people from the clapper, and every time you clapped, you jump. In Tecate, Mexico, this factory is always jumping, so we can all have a very Chia Christmas. How many Chia Pets do you think you've produced here over the years?
Over the years, we are over 10 million units.
During peak season, they turn out 14,000 a day. So there's no two Chia Pets exactly the same?
No, because everything is handmade. Right now, we put in the glaze on their heads.
Yeah, this woman could work at Dairy Queen.
That's right.
You make a lot of people's Christmas happy with
You bet. You bet, and we planning to continue to do so. Now we're coming up with new designs that we feel like is coming up stronger than ever.
Now, these gorillas here, when will they be on the market?
They'll be in the market next year.
So we're seeing the unveiling of a new Chia here?
That's correct. You haven't seen this one in the market at all.
I mean, who wouldn't open a package on Christmas morning and see one of these and not be happy?
That's right, you know.
I mean, take a look at that. Doesn't that say Merry Christmas?
So fun to see that old footage. I love it. Still a great gift today, right? So for more News 8 throwbacks like this one, including all of our Chia Pet stories in full, visit CBS 8's YouTube channel. You can also go to cbs8.com and click the throwback tab right there at the top of the page. Well, before we leave you, hangover hero Grubhub is out with its most ordered menu items of 2022. Burritos took the top spot this year with around 4 million orders. Cheeseburgers were the second most ordered item, with cheese pizza at number 3. To celebrate, the top alcohol order was beer, while the top dessert was tiramisu. As always, thank you so much for your time. Thanks for staying informed. Be sure to join me each week as I take you around San Diego. For CBS 8, I'm Jenny Day. Take good care of yourselves and happy holidays.